This, of course, is Liberal leader Michael Ignatieff commenting after the Liberals voting against the government on the confidence vote. We're all ears as we listen in live.
$5 billion over the summer. When you look at what's happening with our Aboriginal population, they're sitting there with H1N1 coming at them, and what are they getting? They're getting body bags. And when you look outside, again, out of Parliament, you look at the worry and anxiety in Windsor, in London, these places with high unemployment and no sense of any plan to get us out. You think, I've got a simple job here, folks, which is just to decide as leader of the opposition whether I can continue to support a government with these facts, with this situation in our country. And I just decided, after a lot of thought, a lot of careful thought, I had to stand up and say no. So that's what we did.
I'd like to say that in French.
C'est pas une affaire de la bulle du Parlement, tout ça.
It has nothing to do with the bubble of Parliament. It really has to do with the country. We have a record unemployment rate. And what concerns me most is the rate of unemployment among our youth. I see a record deficit that went up by $5 billion over the summer. They've lost control of our public finances in Canada. And we have the Aboriginal people who are being told to deal with H1N1 with body bags. In the forestry sector, there are issues. In regions of Quebec, the people have been absolutely abandoned. And we can only reach one conclusion. We have to stand up and say no. So that was my decision. It wasn't a decision I made lightly. And it wasn't made in the bubble of Parliament. It was made because I have to do my duty as leader of the opposition. Who are the winners and losers this week? Well, I'm not going to play that game. What I would like is for Canadians to be the winners. We have a clear alternative to the Harper government, and that's what they need. That's what Canadians need. They need a clear alternative to this government.
Who are the winners and losers? I'm just not playing that game. My sense is the question is this government good enough, yes or no? I've said no, and now my job is to present Canadians with a clear alternative, and that's what we'll be doing in the days we have.
If there is an election, you know that NDP voters are always devoted as to whether they should vote for you or the NDP. Now, what happened this week? Do you think you can use that to your own advantage to convince those voters to come on to the Liberal Party, to come on to your side? Well, once again, I don't want to play that parliamentary game against the interests of Canadians. But what I can say is that Mr. Layton has to explain to the voters why he took this course of action. We rose in the House to say, this isn't enough. We're not going to play any more games on EI. And I think that NDP voters will draw their own conclusions. I don't have to nail it in harder than it has been already.
Might have held up the renovation tax credits for taxpayers.
But, that's the kind of game playing that the Conservatives have been playing with this all along. The renovation tax credit is perfectly secure. It didn't need a Ways and Means motion to pass. And it's that kind of game playing, you suddenly think, inside this bubble, where you think, come on, let's just stop these games. This is ridiculous. The issue is real simple. Do you have confidence in this government or don't you? Yes or no? We said clearly we no longer have confidence.
So how important is it for Liberals, for your morale and for a sense of direction and distinction between Liberals and Conservatives, to be able to say what you really feel as opposed to swallowing yourself to
It feels good to stand up for conviction. You do this with a sense that who are you speaking for, who are you standing up for. I spent the whole summer going across the country talking to people who are having a very tough time. I don't want to talk down the Canadian economy. I want to talk it up. But I'm here to represent the people who are having a really tough time out there. So I feel good that we have stood up for them today. And, you know, Jack and Jill have gone up the hill, and we know how that little fairy tale ends.
Your alternative,